Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, here back in the Dwarven camp, where we want to continue with Ronit and his plan to build tanks. A piss up in a brewery. Hey, not only are you talented, but hardworking too. You've really made a difference around here. As for me, I've never made anything like this before, so it's taking a while to get the engine right. Who'd have thunk making a tank could be so complicated? I reckon I'll have it worked out before long, but there's one problem I've been struggling with. Fuel. Suppose it wouldn't hurt to ask the others if they got any ideas. Alright, lads and ladettes. Seems like the cobalt coal we use for automata ain't gonna cut it. The tank's just too heavy even when it's empty, never mind a full load of cargo. Of course, making it lighter is an option, but we can't cut back on armor or those sin eaters will rip through it like it's wet paper. And there ain't no point putting a limit on the amount it can carry, cause that defeats the purpose of it. Actually, I'm not sure it's a good idea to mention this, but I get a feeling we're being watched. If one of those bastard hobgoblins has followed us here, I'll smash its bloody head in. We're calling a hobgoblin? No time to deal with underlings. It's twice, nay, thrice cursed Ronic I seek. I, Ozok the Gok, proud descendant of a great Watts, challenge you to a test of skill, with Watts' hammer on the line. What the hell are you talking about? If you're a descendant of Watts, I'm a two-headed Amaro. His blood flows in my veins, not yours. Besides, can't you see I'm busy? I'm trying to build a prototype of a rolling tankard. What? I don't have a clue what you mean, but it sounds fascinating. Not that I care what any of you or your band of dundering dunderheads are up to. All I want is to challenge you and prove who's a better engineer. Surely your pride compels you to accept? Unless you're scared, that is. I ain't scared of nothing. If it's a showdown you're after, a showdown's what you get, but not until I finish this tank. Because the quicker it gets done, the quicker you can pit your skill against mine. Ah, I see what you're getting at. This your roundabout way of asking for my help, is it? Judging by the sorry state of that, whatever it's supposed to be, you certainly need it. If this is what it takes for you to relinquish what, so be it, you shambling charlatan. Is that the sound of an impending disaster I hear? I assume you've got at least some crafting jobs to back up that mouth of yours. I'll have you know that even gawk babies can produce better work than the shoddy rubbish that passes for engineering in Tomra. And from what I gather, you've started building that tank of yours without even considering what sort of fuel to use. I'll be here until my next name day if I wait for you lot to find a solution yourself. So I'll let you use the Gawk's secret formula, which is sure to work. Naturally, I expect something in return. Grog, and plenty of it. Maybe we can get some for the rest of us while we're at it. Nothing like a drunken bust to increase productivity, yes? Definitely. But there's nowhere to get decent brew from moms around. We lack the means to make it ourselves. Bless my beard, you call yourselves dwarfs? Tell you what, I'll build your brewing machine on the condition I can have grog from it whenever I want. Agreed? I need an assistant though. You over there, let me hand, would you? I've had some convoluted schemes in my time, a few of them my own, but this is something else. Oh well. As long as it doesn't interfere with my work, I couldn't give a hop's ass what she does. I think we can spare you for a bit, so why not humor her? Huh? I'll be installing the machinery on the top of our steps, So when you're ready to see a real engineer in action, just say the word. If you even think about sabotaging it to make me look bad, I shall be very cross. I must say I'm much better at brewing than I'm at smithing. Results are a lot tastier too. Listen, I didn't just pick you at random, you know? I've been watching from afar and I've seen the way you work. While I won't go so far as to say I'm impressed, you're cut above the rest of these talentless hacks. I'd be impressed to see you cope when working alongside someone of my caliber. While I design the brewing apparatus, I'll have you produce a few basic components. Of course, we won't be doing much brewing without brewing bats, so show me what you're capable of. I suppose you'll be needing the raw materials, won't you? Let me see. I think there should be some in the automaton. Problem solved. Seems the false habit of carrying a load of rubbish around with them actually paid off for once. Well then, what are you waiting for? I'm keen to show this bunch of reprobates what proper grog tastes like. And we're keen to do the tasting. Let's get to work, shall we? Request for materials acknowledged. Crate of brewery supplies. I know I don't need to make it good, but I want to. Yeah, there's no high quality here. Done, are ya? Took you long enough, but it was worth the wait. Now we're only a few simple steps away from producing lovely, lovely grog. Actually I was hoping to try a new recipe I've come up with that uses local ingredients. That ought to be good for a laugh. I'll bet it tastes even worse than the usual dregs you Tholls serve up. As long as you switch over to my recipe afterwards, I don't see the harm in trying though. Down batch! Under Ozok's watchful eye, Watt's Anvil is now equipped with a fully functioning brewery, an essential part of any tank building facility. With a majority of the workforce now blind drunk, the next logical step is to begin producing large quantities of highly flammable fuel for the experimental war machine. These swords certainly seem to be enjoying the boost. I suppose I could do them the honor of passing a little across my palate. Oh, what's weird? This is incredible. In fact, it might even be better than the ale we make in Comra. Oh, the recipe is my own invention. Your brewing techniques are the key to its unique flavor, Ozok. I hope you don't mind me interrupting this knees up to discuss your side of the bargain. What are you planning to do about my tank fuel, huh? Planning? Why, it's already been dealt with. Take a closer look.
Looks like a brewing word to me.
That shows how much you know. Behold, the patented Goak ethanol mill. By fermenting various forms of vegetation, like dry grass and so on, then distilling it a few times, we're able to produce fuel that can be used in a range of machines. What do you think of that, you simple-minded simpletons? That's bloody brilliant. We started on working on it before we even gave you a grog. You don't waste any time, that's for sure.
It's really quite remarkable. I'd say our doubts have been laid to rest, at least as far as her skills as an engineer are concerned.
Let this be a lesson to all you naysayers, but the proof, as they say, is the pudding, and you see the true extent of my genius once you feast your eyes on the power of ethanol fuel. Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves. For all we know, the whole thing might blow up in our faces, but I suppose it would be poor form not to express my appreciation, so, thanks, Ozok. Try not to sound too enthusiastic about it, but if you're in the mood for giving praise, I reckon Serenia deserves some too. Yes, right, I hadn't forgotten. Good work, Serenia. Ozok couldn't have done it without you. Reputation has increased to trusted. New beast tribe quest and 3 additional for today, and more wares. But let me first turn in the old ones.
For generations as dwarves have made our livelihood by wresting hidden veins of materials from the earth with our own hands. That being said, here in the Anvil, the number of hands we have is somewhat limited, and as the scale of our operations grows, we must look without to find whatsoever help is available. Right now it seems that is you. Head to the Hour of Certain Durance, where one of my workers oversees the mining operations. Our tasks there are endless, and I have no doubt he will have something that requires your expertise. Producing of ethanol is proceeding apace, but as you well know, I'm a dwarf who aims ever higher in all aspects. Our ethanol can always be more pure, burn more efficiently, and be more gentle on our engines. It's time we use a bit of trial and error to refine our processes. If luck is on our side, we'll discover a way to improve our ale's distillation as well. We are conducting a series of experiments as we speak, and are in constant need of supplies, until we get it just right. You've proven trustworthy and capable thus far, so I can think of no better woman for the task. Shigit should have everything you need to get started. Ethanol has produced some astonishing results, but we had our fair share of mechanical mishaps. The engines get so hot that sometimes they just start steaming like an elemental out of water. This problem must be squared away quickly, for without our tanks we'll have little to show for our time here besides barrels of ale. My men are hard at work building cooling devices for the engines, and I would have you lend them your expertise. The team has headed to inviolate witness to mine stones we might make use of, and if you head there now, you should catch up with them. With all of you working together, I'm sure this burning issue will be quenched in no time at all.
Okay, Shigit. Would have thought the GOG ethanol formula would prove so effective. Still, we Tholls are not to be outdone, and we are not above asking for your help in creating a superior version. Our main dwarf in charge has decided to conduct his delicate work in clear melt, far from the hustle and bustle of the anvil. Since you're planning to go there anyway, perhaps you could take something with you? I'd like you to make 3 batches of yeast. We're trying to refine our fermentation methods, and for that we need as much yeast as we can produce. If you should run out of ingredients, the automaton is standing by to provide you with more. Take your time, and when you're done, deliver the goods to my man in Clearmelt. I do hope his experiments are bearing fruit. Beast tribe quests, dwarf. Crates of filtration supplies. Here, what's that in your hand? Is that... Yes, the experiments must go on, and on, until we manage to expunge every single impurity from our lovely ethanol. What? I'm not tasting the ethanol. Pure ethanol, that's what I'm testing for. You go on ahead and tell Regid those exact words. Go on now. Up here? Up here. Ah, you're Regid's workhorse. Here just in time too. This rock we pulled out of the earth is still wet to the touch. Word has it you got a knack for crafting, so use it to make 2 vials of coolant. A couple of those should absorb the brunt of the heat those engines give off. The automaton is here in case you run out of ingredients for any reason. Since I'm sure you're used to this by now, you know to deliver the finished goods to Regid. When everything is sorted, we mean to put these cooling engines to a life test. Cooling device components. I love the smell of termite in the morning. Some are frightened of a little explosive, but I always say that if you take the proper precautions and keep your distance, it's no more dangerous than farming. Ah, there's nothing like an explosion to get the juices flowing, huh? I'll get to sorting through the rubble for the choicest minerals. You go tell Regid our work is done, for now at least. You're back, and judging from a fine layer of dust covering you, you'd carried out your task splendidly. Despite what you saw today, there's a lot more to mining than tossing explosives at works. Our knowledge of a trade is as deep and vast as the mountains we venture into, and we can sniff out veins of ore that have escaped the noses of the finest miners of Lakeland. So stick with us, and there's no telling what witches might be in store for you. Rest assured, I'll be calling upon you again when we hit the motherlode. Welcome back. For
From the Divine Scent, I take you found clear melt without trouble? How's the research coming along? Ah, I see. I knew I'd picked the right dwarf for the job. A diligent worker and circumspect researcher he is. I do worry about him being alone for so long, so I may be asking for your help again soon. Great work as always. Ah, well, I suppose I shouldn't make assumption. You did finish what I asked, right? Wonderful. This should put a damper on those overacting engines. We begin testing these at once. You know, I'd wager gill to gingerbread that your masterwork here could be put to use in the ale vats as well. What am I saying? Tanks, then ale. Tanks, then ale.
Okay. Let's hope the ale brewing does not ruin anything. Well, I suppose they're dwarves. They know what they're doing, right? Right? Anyway. Until next time, when we see how this evolves. I am Ace, and don't get lost.